Alright, let's dive deeper into the culinary calamity that is Meghan Markle's cooking. It's fascinating, really, how someone who has lived a life of luxury and privilege can produce such a culinary catastrophe. You'd think with all the resources at her disposal, private chefs, gourmet ingredients, endless tutorials available online, she'd be able to whip up something that doesn't look like it came straight out of a college dorm microwave. Let's break this down. First off, the sheer audacity of her to post these cooking attempts online is mind-boggling. It's like she's trying to convince us that she's just a regular person, relatable in her kitchen struggles. But there's a difference between being relatable and being an embarrassment. If she's trying to connect with the average person, she's missing the mark by a mile. The average person doesn't serve up a plate of regret topped with a side of "you'll be regretting this later." And then there's the choice of ingredients. Canned chicken? Really? In a world brimming with fresh, high-quality options, she's opted for the most processed and uninspired ingredients possible. What's next? A salad made of expired lettuce? It's like she's taken one look at the art of cooking and decided to turn it into a challenge of how low she can go. Let's not forget the frozen veggies. There's nothing wrong with a good frozen vegetable mix, but when that becomes the cornerstone of your meal, you know you're scraping the bottom of the barrel. It's not just about convenience, it's about creativity and flavor, neither of which Meghan seems to understand. She's not even attempting to elevate these ingredients. It's as though she's in a race to make the most unappetizing meal possible. And what about the presentation? If you're going to post your culinary endeavors on social media, at least make an effort to make it look appealing. A sprinkle of fresh herbs, a dash of seasoning, anything to give us the illusion that this dish is more than just a sad pile of mush. Instead, we're treated to a mound of indistinguishable ingredients that look like they've been thrown together in a blindfolded frenzy. Is she trying to set a new trend in the culinary world? Because if she is, I can assure her it's not going to catch on. Now, let's take a moment to appreciate the irony here. Meghan Markle, a woman who has prided herself on her sophistication and taste, is serving up dishes that even a hungry college student would think twice about. It's almost comical to think about how her culinary skills, or lack thereof, are now part of her brand. She's gone from being a Hollywood actress to a social media chef, and not in the way anyone would hope. And what about Harry? Can you imagine the poor guy? He went from banquets and fine dining to whatever culinary nightmare Meghan is concocting in that kitchen. How does he reconcile the two? One moment he's enjoying a beautifully plated meal crafted by a professional, and the next, he's staring down a plate of microwave disaster. It's a hard pill to swallow, especially for someone who grew up with the finest dining experiences. Let's also consider the psychological aspect of this whole situation. What's going on in Meghan's mind that makes her think this is acceptable? Is she trying to prove a point about being down to earth? Or is she genuinely unaware of how bad it looks? Either way, it's a head-scratcher. The last thing anyone wants to see on social media is a reminder that cooking can go horribly wrong, especially when it's being broadcast to the world. And the best part? The comments section. You know it's a goldmine of reactions. People can't help but weigh in on her culinary misadventures, and it's both cringeworthy and hilarious to read. There's a mix of sympathy, disbelief, and outright ridicule. Some brave souls might even offer her cooking tips, but let's be real, at this point, it feels like it's too late for a crash course in culinary arts. There's also a sense of schadenfreude that comes with watching Meghan's kitchen fails. It's like a guilty pleasure, seeing someone who has everything at their fingertips struggle with the most basic of tasks. It's oddly comforting to know that even royals can't escape the kitchen. Now, back to that casserole. If we're going to dissect this disaster further, let's talk about the smell. I can only imagine what wafts through the air when she's cooking. Is it pungent? Does it linger like a bad memory? The aroma of frozen veggies and canned ingredients isn't exactly inviting. It's like a siren call for nausea. And let's not overlook the aftermath of these cooking attempts. You know there are dishes piling up, a kitchen in disarray, and a smoke alarm that's probably getting a workout. Does she even clean up? Or does she just walk away, leaving the chaos behind? It's hard to imagine a former actress, who is supposed to have a flair for the dramatic, leaving her kitchen looking like a war zone. In conclusion, Meghan Markle's culinary journey, or rather, her culinary horror story, is a spectacle to behold. It's a reminder that no matter how glamorous life may seem, everyone has their struggles. But there's a line between relatability and ridiculousness, and Meghan seems to be dancing all over that line. If this is her idea of elevating dinner, then we're all in for a whole lot of disappointment. So, here's to hoping that she either hires a chef or takes a cooking class. Because at this rate, The only thing she's elevating is our collective disbelief. It's a wild ride, and we're all just along for the cringeworthy journey.